let's have a conversation. Let's honestly have a conversation, a proper, in-depth conversation about the MMA media and now that Israel Adesanya has a fight booked again. Let's talk about the speculation behind the steroids. Let's talk about the truth behind his fetish for puppies and dogs and stuff, which I probably shouldn't have said because this video might get hidden on YouTube because everyone just loves him so much for some reason. This video is essentially me saying, why does the MMA media ignore all this stuff and doesn't publish anything about it, doesn't ask him questions about it. Literally not one question has ever been asked to him about, these rumours. And I know it's a weird thing to bring up to a fighter at a press conference, look, do you touch dogs in this way? Can you please elaborate more on, your chest and, the comments? And you don't have to, you can cover it up by saying, look, people online have been speculating about the lump on your chest and they want to make sure you're okay, what is it? And he's the type of guy that'll be like, oh, people want to think I'm okay, people want to know I'm okay, oh, that's nice, let me tell you a bit of something. He's like that. Or if someone says, look, there's this video of you playing, fans are speculating that there's a video of you touching a dog's private parts and wiggling it around and eating whipped cream out of your dog's mouth and stuff. Do you want to elaborate a bit more on that? Why aren't these questions being asked? It's almost as if he becomes a really dominant champion, okay? Which he was. He becomes a really dominant champion, has boring fights, but Dana White is now paying him more than any middleweight's ever been paid, so it's like, right, we'll ignore this, we'll push him as the star, and he comes out with these cringe, terrible one-liners, but, it's probably the best thing since McGregor. That's how riddled of stars the UFC was about 3 or 4 years ago. Because O'Malley was still coming up, and then he lost to Vera. Then it was August 2021. It was really there's not really anyone here that is a big name. Adesanya is the only one that kind of hasn't really lost, except when he went up to light heavyweight, and he barely beat Vettori, and he most likely lost to Whittaker the second time, but, he's still winning, and he's doing the job, and when he needs to show up, he all of a sudden has crazy knockout power. It's almost as if, he does a little something, and then his boob gets really swollen up. Gyno's a well-known thing in bodybuilding and steroid usage, and it's all ignored, essentially, because I think they need him, and now they're paying him so much. The last thing they want is for the MMA fan base to just literally rip him to pieces and not watch his fights because they hate him and stuff. And maybe they've said behind the scenes, look, do not bring this up. That does not need to be spoken about. It's disgusting and crude. And obviously it's a bad look for the UFC as well. A headline says it all for old people and people that maybe are more boxing fans but want to give the UFC a try and pay the $80 a month in the US. But then they see a headline, UFC champion has sexual dog fetish, and then it's all of a sudden, oh, I'm not fucking watching that. They're all dog touchers over there in the UFC, and who knows essentially, right? But that's honestly, that's definitely a part of it. The guy's never been pulled up on it, which I think's weird. Fighters have started doing it though. Dricus Du Plessis, should I say, sorry Dricus, in the backstage interview after the press conference yesterday, someone said to him what was said in the face-to-face, and Izzy said, don't kiss me, try not to kiss me, because in South Africa it's a greeting thing where you kiss another man on the lips. Very strange for most of the people, but for them it's normal, whatever. It's a culture thing, I don't think, I can't really say that, I don't think doing stuff to your dog is, I think that's illegal actually. I think that's bestiality. Wow. Is a culture thing. Maybe it is for him, I don't know. Don't know how he was raised. Obviously being raised in about 6 different countries and claiming he's only from one is crazy. Ripping him to bits here. I'm ripping him to absolute pieces. But look, Dricus' response to this interviewer saying, look, he said try not to kiss you. Dricus says, don't worry, I think I'll be okay, unless I was a dog. So, Dricus is maybe taking a bit of advice from some YouTubers. The MMA guru has been very vocal with Dricus, saying look, rip him to pieces. Bring up the fact that everything he says is weird. And that press conference moment where Dricus Du Plessis says, yeah, well, he's whatever that means, when Israel was like, I don't care what he does, but I'm going to show him who he is. I don't care what he does, but I'm going to show him who he is. Bang, puts the mic down. Yeah, well, he's going to do whatever that means. It's just brilliant. It's just it's ripping the man to pieces. He's got no... Israel Adesanya has no quality or no class, you know. He wants everyone to like him, and he's like a big kid. I think, how old is he now? 34 or something like that. By the time of the fight, 34, something maybe, or 33. You know, he's an old guy. He was like 31 when he was fighting for the title, or 30. He was old when he joined the UFC. I think he was like 29, 28 maybe, or maybe I'm just completely wrong. It might have been a bit longer than that, maybe like 2019, so maybe he's 27 or something. I haven't actually looked into that. I don't actually know how old the guy is exactly. I'd say 33. Should I quickly have a little Google? I'm quickly just going to type in Israel Adesanya age. 34. Yeah, he's 34 years of age. Tail end of his career. Realistically, what does he do if he loses to Dricus? I think he gets on the mic and he plays the victim. He'll go, look, there's a lot of stuff that goes on outside of the cage. There's a lot of stuff that goes on. And then he'll say, I've had some health issues, but it's been a great run, UFC. Thank you, everybody. I love you. And he'll just like, get him out of the sport. Like, he's fun to have around. He's fun at middleweight, but he's so unlikable. And he doesn't really back it up with anything exciting. I'm kind of worried Ian Gary's going to fall into that same category as well. Like, he does what he needs to win, but he's boring. But he's got an annoying personality. But an annoying personality, but then you're going out there and flattening people is so much more like, fuck. Like, a bit like Kamaru Usman, you know? I hated him. Then he goes and flatlines Jorge Masvidal. And it's like, well, what the fuck can I really say about that, you know? But the MMA media just completely ignore this. They don't say anything about the dog stuff. They don't say like, here, look, you know, they don't try and defend Dricus because they don't want to hurt the champ's feelings or get the champ riled up or anything, you know. This is a man that, I need to really be very careful here with how I word things. He has French frosted tips because he says he likes his nails looking nice. Likes to take care of himself. No problem, right? We've seen this before. O'Malley has rainbow hair, for fuck's sake, you know. People are so quick to say, Izzy's back, you know, Izzy's going to do this. And I think Dricus runs through him. I think Izzy's boxing's very questionable. I don't think there's really much he can offer Dricus. You can catch him at range. You can catch him with that like tricky uppercut left hook he has as he steps in. Izzy's okay with that. I think Dricus is tough though. Dricus is a bit like a marauder. He's going to walk him down, mow him down, power double leg him, really go for him. Apparently they train very hard over there at the CIT team in South. I think, where is it in South Africa? Is it, what's the name of the place? I can't remember what it's called. It's very close to like Johannesburg, super close. I'm gonna have to go back and double check my info, but this information is irrelevant until I do my official prediction for the fight close to the time, probably the end of July. Look, the MMA media are sly. You could get a massive headline out of Izzy saying something about it, or because he does not mention it. He does not mention it. Dricus needs to say, What have you been doing to your dog behind closed doors? And get people Googling this image and Googling this video. It's all over the internet. It's never brought up. Dana White has never been asked about it. Dana White probably wouldn't dare. He's obsessed with Israel. He loves him. I suppose when you have a champion that will fight in 5 pay-per-views in a year, I mean, that's incredible. I mean, I don't discredit Adesanya's fighting ability. I think he's very good. I just think his time is now past, and I think it's past, and no one wants it back. And I think he's now quite unliked just because of the way he's handled this situation with Du Plessis. And then losing to Strickland, and then Strickland obviously being the loudmouth that he is, saying like, you know, like he touches his dog, and he's from China, you guys. He's from China, you guys, you know, just doing all this stuff. And fuck the media, man. That's all I have to say. Fuck the MMA media. They don't really know what they're talking about. They don't know what the fans want. They don't know what questions to ask. They are blatantly tiptoeing around the steroid usage, which is blatantly apparent. it's very suspicious. The man has the same fighting style in every single fight. When it's like a top 5 contender, every single fight it's the same: jab, leg kick at range, jab, leg kick at range, sit on the back foot, land leg kicks, jab, throw a right hand, left hook, once a round, maybe twice a round, and maybe it hits the gloves or hits the top of the dome. You know, oh, big shot by Israel. But then all of a sudden, when he's lost, he comes back and he's got knockout power. Pereira was really beating him in that middleweight second fight. And then all of a sudden, dunk dunk, out cold, right? And yeah, you can blame it on Alexei's weight cut. However, it's a bit suspicious. And now the image is circulating from his training that he put on Instagram today and yesterday. The boob is back. So the MMA media are ignoring this. He's a 34-year-old professional athlete who is not trying to be in any way suggestive of anything, but is from... Oh, this is going to sound so bad. His family seem like they would maybe potentially be involved in corrupt things. Judging by Kamaru Usman's upbringing and his father being a dodgy chemist, and obviously them having close relation, and obviously a lot of the guys from City Kickboxing have been tested before and it's been a bit iffy. You know, there was a few of his teammates that in smaller promotions were literally admittedly taking juice. Yeah, he's not exactly connected with them anymore. However, I would not put it past the man. Like, I just feel like he's got this insecurity, like this, but that's obviously why he's such a brilliant champion as well. He's got this really, really deep-rooted pain, a bit like Floyd Mayweather insecurity that he can't handle, and I think he's kind of getting over it. But like, look, I'm probably just gonna leave it at that. The MMA media are ridiculous. They don't know how to handle situations. I don't understand what the big deal is, and I don't understand why they haven't brought any of this up, even for their own benefit, like a headline or something. I think they are all scared and they're running from the truth, and I think Israel Adesanya is going to get found out. So I will see you all when I see you guys, and good luck. Have a lovely evening. Subscribe, like, comment. I just speak it how it is, and I think I'm saying what a lot of people are saying. So I appreciate you if you've watched this far. Thank you.